Its distance from the lower 48 states and its harrowing climate earn Alaska the title of the last frontier. But as years pass, it seems that this place is slowly revealing its secrets. From a demon-like cephalopod to bizarre Alaskan natives, here are 20 mysterious discoveries in Alaska.
It makes me nervous when they say it's slowly starting to discover things and uncover things, because that sounds to me like the poles are shifting.
Number 20. Demon-like cephalopod. Imagine you're exploring the ocean's mysterious depths around Alaska's Aleutian Islands, and suddenly you stumble upon this creature. What would you do? If you're wondering what this freaky-looking creature is, this is an underwater creature spotted by a group of researchers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Alien?
Now, spoiler alert. If you're not too fond of...
Come on, man. Come on, man. Tell me that's not an alien, bro. That's an alien.
This creature's looks, you'd be delighted to hear that this fellow was spotted by a remote-operated vehicle about 2,300 feet underwater. This creature is actually a glass squid, scientifically known as Taunius borealis.
Squid?
If anything looks bizarre about this squid, it's the fact that it's see-through. Literally. You can see whatever it's digesting inside of it. What's more, its demonic red eyes also make it one of the ocean creatures I'd very much not like to ever encounter. But as horrifying as this creature looks, this creature is just one of the over 60 known species of glass squid. The only thing that sets this creature apart is its bizarre pair of eyes. And this...
I ain't gonna lie, I would want to watch it digest something. I do. Is that sound sick? Is that sick? Might be. I shouldn't have disclosed that. Let y'all know that.
Is just one of the many monstrous creatures that lurk in Alaskan waters. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Number 19. The town where everyone sleeps under the same roof. Imagine a town where you all live under the same giant structure. Sounds like a childhood dream, right? Well, that's exactly how life is in the unique town of Whittier, Alaska. In this town, there's a massive complex known as Begich Towers standing on the edge of town. In this complex, not only will you find regular apartments, but pretty much everything you'd find in an ordinary town. You'll find a police station, a health clinic, a convenience store, a laundromat, schools, and even a church in the basement. Missionaries, bartenders, city council members, cops, students, children, everyone lives under the same connected roof. You see, this quirky living arrangement works for the folks in Whittier, thanks to its size and weather conditions. Whittier is nestled between mountains and water, and the weather can be brutal, with crazy winds and up to 250 inches of snow. So it's definitely a good thing that everything is all under a single roof.
Smart.
What's more, it's also incredibly hard to leave this town. After all, you can only reach this town by sea, or through a long one-lane tunnel that passes through the mountains. As if that's not isolated enough, entrance is tricky since the tunnel closes at night. Here, you'll spot residents roaming around in their PJs even when they're on official business. Need something? Knock on the police chief's door, or have a study session at a teacher's kitchen table. But remember the school I mentioned? You see, it's not
Hey, that's pretty cool, though. I can't lie to you, bro. You get up, go downstairs, go to work. Probably come upstairs to pick your child up. On your way upstairs, stop by the grocery store. Stop by the grocery store. Listen, bro, you do everything either on your way down from the house or on your way back up to the house in the same under the same roof, bro. You got a complaint? Go to the police station, which is in the building.
Exactly under the same complex. Instead, it's in a separate building behind the tower, which can only be reached by an underground tunnel. I must say that this is definitely among the most bizarre communities in the world. Number 18. The bizarre disappearance of SS Bimo. In 1931, a cargo ship was navigating through the icy waters off the coast of Alaska. Everything was going smoothly until the watercraft got trapped in the ice. Initially known as SS Onger Manelven, the ship was a 230-foot-long, 1,322-ton cargo steamer with a steel hull. After World War I, as part of German reparations under the Treaty of Versailles, it was transferred to the United Kingdom and later sold to the Hudson's Bay Company, where it was renamed SS Bimo in 1921. Loaded with furs, the SS Bimo became stuck in pack ice twice. The crew sought shelter in Barrow during the first incident and resumed their journey when the ship broke free 2 days later. However, During the second episode on October 8, 1931, the ship remained trapped, prompting the crew to abandon it with plans to return when the ice melted in the summer. The crew thought that the best decision would be just to abandon the ship, believing it would sink. But contrary to its crew's expectation, SS Bimo stayed afloat, drifting aimlessly in the icy waters of the ocean. Not for several years, but for 4 long decades. People occasionally spotted the Bimo, like a ghost ship haunting the frozen seas. The ship's final sighting dates back to 1969, where it was once again trapped in ice. Strangely, it's not been seen since, and there's been no sighting of its wreckage either. The Alaskan government had expressed interest in locating this mysterious vessel, often called the Alaska Ghost Ship. They even announced plans to search for it in 2006, but those plans never materialized. At present, it appears that the Bimo remains perpetually just out of reach. The prevailing belief is that the SS Bimo has most likely sunk, with its wreckage awaiting discovery. Number 17.
We gotta find that, bro. At this point in time, it's pretty much a museum wherever it's at, fam. Because they just abandoned it. So everything, if it's still floating, everything will probably be in its place the way they left it when they abandoned it. Oh, they gotta find that.
Where bald eagles are pigeons. In New York and other cities all around the globe, it's not unusual to see pigeons. Lots of them. However, there's a place in Alaska where instead of pigeons, you see a considerable number of bald eagles instead. This bizarre bird population can be found in Unalaska, Alaska. Yep, that's the name of this picturesque town with around 4,700 residents. In this place, over 600 majestic bald eagles reside. As I've said, in Unalaska, spotting a bald eagle is as common as seeing a pigeon in cities. If you know the struggle of living in a city with a huge pigeon population, then you can probably already guess that living with hundreds of bald eagles also comes with its own set of struggles. You see, Unalaska residents have to be on their guard, because getting a little too close to a bald eagle nest can lead to a not-so-friendly encounter. You're not getting a simple surprise poop on your head. You'll definitely get a light injury if you try to mess with these birds. And so, during the nesting season, which runs from early June to the end of summer, local law enforcement goes all out with warning signs to remind folks that these territorial birds are not to be messed with. These eagles will do whatever it takes to protect their young, and that includes swooping down and using their sharp talons at any passerby that they deem to be dangerous. Now you're probably wondering, are bald eagles endangered? Well, they were. But over the past several years, these creatures have been making a comeback, with their population slowly rising once again. It's easy to think that these creatures congregated in Alaska because they were deliberately bred there for conversation. But this isn't the case. It just so happens that Unalaska is right next to Dutch Harbor, one of the biggest fishing ports globally. No wonder these birds decided to make the town their habitat. It's crazy to hear about the stories of people living there. Folks working at the post office seem to be having a tough time warning their customers about the eagles. After all, several of them decided to nest near the post office, meaning you must pass by their nesting area to reach the establishment. Some locals claim that some birds have snatched whatever they were carrying, cardboard and other small trinkets. But perhaps, if there's one area in Unalaska that can be considered the favorite of these creatures, it's none other than the landfill, where the birds can freely eat whatever waste was thrown and gather materials they could use. Do you think you'd be down to live in this town? Or would you rather stick with the city pigeons? Let me know about your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, I grew up around pigeons. In New Jersey, you see pigeons. So I grew up around seeing that. I'll take that any day. Any day. I ain't dealing with no bald eagle, bro. No.
Number 16. The amazing Alaskan wood frog. From bald eagles, let's take a look at the bizarre Alaskan wood frog. This creature is a pint-sized amphibian that is known for its curious behavior. While bears and other animals hibernate during the winter, this creature literally lets itself freeze. Yep, you heard that right. It stops breathing, its heart takes a break, and even metabolic activity completely halts in its body. This creature lets itself become frozen by up to 60%. This is enough to render this creature almost as good as dead. You see, these creatures endure harsh winters where temperatures plummet to a bone-chilling -9 to -18 degrees Celsius. Now you're probably wondering...
Now that's crazy because alligators do that same thing, but they stick their snouts out of the water as it's freezing. and then they do the same thing with their heart and their heart rate or whatever and bring it down. And you think they're frozen and dead, but they ain't, bro. They ain't.
How this small frog endures such a feat? Well, the secret lies in cryoprotectants found in the frog's tissues. These are substances like glucose and urea that basically act as natural antifreeze. They prevent the frog's cells from freezing solid and keep them from suffering the usual cellular shrinkage seen in most animals exposed to sub-zero temps. Who knew such a small creature could be so tough? Nature really is metal, huh? Number 15.
Who knew?
The world's most isolated hotel. Introverts? Perhaps this is something you might want to focus on. If you're tired from the hustle and bustle of the city, then perhaps taking a well-deserved break in the most isolated hotel in the world might be something you'd be interested in. You can experience that by going to Denali National Park, the most remote place on Earth. This place is surrounded by 6 million acres of wilderness, home to grizzly bears, caribou, moose, and wolves. However, this place is as beautiful as it is inaccessible. Until recently, the only way to reach the Don Sheldon Amphitheater, a glacial valley perched at 6,000 feet, was by a ski-equipped plane. In 2018, the Sheldon Chalet was erected in this area. It's a luxurious getaway named after its owners, Robert and Kate Sheldon. It made headlines not just for its jaw-dropping location, but also for the price tag that comes with a 3-night stay. I guess this shows that relaxing and most earthly pleasures in life can only be bought by rich people. You see, even if you have the will and the courage to take a well-deserved retreat in this place, you need to shell out a pretty hefty amount of money. So how much does this remote retreat cost? Well, it's not for the faint of heart, with a minimum 3-night stay setting you back a cool $35,000 per couple. But I guess once you hear about what's included in that package, it's not really that bad. For that
$35,000 and this is what I'm getting? Don't get me wrong, the views, incredible. The inside, trash though. That's trash. The outside, you can't beat that view.
Price, you pretty much get the royal treatment. A
No, you
private
don't.
helicopter shuttle service, your own concierge, gourmet dining that'll make your taste buds dance, and activities that range from sledding to glacier trekking, and even mountaineering. Sheldon Chalet can accommodate up to 10 people, ensuring an intimate experience.
Yeah, but look at the inside of that place they just walked in. You know what I mean? Maybe I gotta see the rest of it. Maybe the rest of it looks better.
During the day, you're treated to breathtaking views of snow-covered landscapes, and at night, you can witness the enchanting aurora borealis dancing across the skies. I'm not gonna lie, if I had the money, this is probably something I'd frequent. I mean, you get everything here. In fact, its creator, Robert Sheldon, claimed that he wanted to share the majesty of this place with the world. It's about letting others experience something truly beyond words. And I'm telling you, just hearing about this place gives me goosebumps. Can you imagine just how otherworldly a 3-day stay at this hotel is? If it's as good as it sounds, then this place is definitely worth every penny. But hey, I'm not a rich mogul, and I don't have the money to spend, so I'll stick to hearing stories about it for now.
Yeah, I ain't got $35,000 just to shell out, just to go to. No. And if I did, bro, yeah. Like I said, the view's outside, but I need something on the inside because we're gonna be on the inside. So having a little luxury on there, they could at least do that for people, or have
Number 4.
some kind of cool way to go up in like this glass dome and at night sleep up there and then look at everything happening, or look at just have views like that. Like they could spruce that place up.
14. Cremated child. Now let's dive into the archaeological and historical discoveries in Alaska. First up are the oldest human remains ever found in Arctic or subarctic North America. The cremated skeleton of a 3-year-old child, dating back more than 11,500 years ago.
Wow.
This child's skeleton was buried in a fire pit within the remains of an ancient house near the Tanana River in central Alaska. And recently, it resurfaced, shedding the secrets of the people who lived in the icy region over 10,000 years ago. It's a chilling discovery, quite literally, as it sheds light on the lives of people living at the very end of the last ice age. The child's cremation suggests that they held a significant place in their society, a cherished member of the community. So what do we know about the child and their life? Well, researchers believe this little one lived during a unique time when the Bering Land Bridge may still have existed or had only recently vanished beneath rising sea levels. The house was located in an area known as the Upward Sun River site, where lush vegetation surrounded the inhabitants. But of course, no trace of this can be seen today. They thrived during the summer months, enjoying the land's bounty with activities like fishing and hunting small game. In the fire pit, scientists found the remains of salmon, rabbits, ground squirrels, and birds. As more of these ancient secrets come to light, our understanding of how our ancestors lived in the past may expand. Number 13. Mammoth Tusk. In 2016, researchers unearthed a mammoth tusk measuring a whopping 55 inches in length. This tusk, the largest ever found at a prehistoric site in Alaska, was discovered at the Holzman site, about 70 miles southeast of Fairbanks. What's mind-blowing is that radiocarbon dating revealed that this mammoth lived about 14,000 years ago. What's more, this isn't just any discovery. It's only the second time that an entire mammoth tusk has been uncovered at an archaeological site in Alaska.
And they pay big money for those tusks, bro. You don't think people just out there searching for nothing, do you? No, they pay big money. Big money.
So what does this finding tell us? Well, it suggests that early inhabitants of Alaska were actively seeking mammoth ivory. They weren't just collecting it, they were crafting tools for this precious material. The big question now is how these prehistoric people acquired the tusk. Did they hunt mammoths, or did they scavenge from creatures that roamed around the area hundreds of years earlier? Number 12. Alaskan orange goo. This bizarre orange goo suddenly appeared in a remote Alaska village a couple of years ago, and it made
like a bunch of shredded cheese is what it looked like.
Many people put on their tinfoil hats to guess just what exactly it was. Theories ranged from a mysterious egg to aliens, but luckily, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric
or alien eggs. See how you put those two together? That's what it could be.
Mysterious egg to aliens, but luckily, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA population, is much more significant than what we previously observed in the wild. What's more, this particular species appears to be unparalleled. This suggests that it might be an undiscovered species of rust fungus, which is pretty exciting, or it was a known species that just didn't match anything in stores worldwide. It's a bit of a bummer that these weren't actual alien eggs or something more exciting, but hey, at least that's one mystery solved. Number 11. 3,000-year-old bone. Earlier this year, a mysterious find in Alaska was finally unraveled by experts. In the 1990s, a 1.2-inch long 3,000-year-old bone was found in Lawyer's Cave in southeastern Alaska. Initially, it was thought that the fragment was an animal bone, possibly from a bear that Native Americans hunted. But as it turns out, the bone unearthed from the cave didn't come from a bear as originally thought, but rather from a human being, a woman. Subsequent research revealed that the genetics of this woman are essentially the same as the Native American people who live in the region now. About 15% of her genome was extractable from the bone. And guess what? Her genetics align perfectly with the Tlingit people and other related Native American groups living in the region today. So what does this all mean? Scientists now believe that Native Americans migrated to North America in 3 waves. The first wave, including non-Inuit indigenous people, arrived about 23,000 years ago via the Bering Land Bridge. The second wave, about 6,000 years ago, brought Paleo-Inuit peoples via sea routes. A possible third wave, occurring between 2,000 and 1,000 years ago, saw the Neo-Inuit peoples arrive. Fortunately, after studying the bones, researchers are keen on returning the bone fragment to the representatives of the indigenous peoples of southeastern Alaska. It will be reburied with the proper ceremonies, honoring it as a fragment of an ancestor. Number 10. Golden Orb. Here's a bizarre discovery found on the ocean floor off the coast of Alaska. Researchers of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration discovered this strange golden orb. This object's appearance immediately caught the eye of researchers. Is this a type of metal, or did this golden object come from a living thing? To solve this enigma, the ROV's robot arm ventured closer to the supposed golden orb. To their astonishment, it was soft, fleshy, and undoubtedly biological. The current leading theory suggests it could be an unidentified coral, a detached part of a sponge, or even remnants of an egg casing left behind after hatching. Fortunately,
that's what I keep thinking this is an egg. Whatever came out of that, we need to know what it is. That just looked like something, I don't know, prehistoric, something from another planet came out of that, and that ain't good.
the ROV was equipped to retrieve organic samples from the ocean floor. It used its robot arm to carefully scoop up the peculiar object and deliver it to the waiting researchers on the NOAA vessel. Even after examination in their shipboard laboratories, the scientists couldn't identify the object definitively. However, researchers strongly believe that this is some sort of a new sponge species that somehow managed to have a bizarre color. Number 9. Dollar bill covered watering hole. In Homer, Alaska, is a bizarre establishment known as the Salty Dog Saloon. I know, strange name, huh? This bar isn't your ordinary watering hole. It's famous for its extraordinary interior, covered from floor to ceiling with dollar bills bearing the signatures of satisfied customers.
Wow.
Now, Homer isn't short on bars, but locals and tourists prefer the Salty Dog Saloon just for its dollar-covered wall. So how did this peculiar...
You can't do that everywhere. Imagine doing that in some of these cities. You try that in Atlanta, bro. That place would be broken into that night. What you think? Probably about 100,000, maybe 10,000 worth of dollars in there. What do y'all think? How much money y'all think? That wouldn't last long where I'm from. No, people wouldn't. People would be chomping at the bit.
Your tradition begin? Well, a few decades ago, a visitor walked in and tacked a dollar bill on the wall, explaining that their friend would return to claim it for a drink. And that's how it all started. Soon, every visitor wanted to join the fun, adding dollar bills adorned with their own notes of praise. Today, it's a challenge to find a spot to hang a new bill. This home cabin dates back to the 1950s, so this establishment isn't simply a piece of recreation, but a piece of history as well.
They might have $1 million there, bro. I seen so many dollars like clustered together. They might have $1 million in there.
Number 8. 2 infant graves. This discovery proves that there's a lot to discover in Alaska. You've seen the oldest bones found in the region earlier, and now here are the youngest human remains ever found in this icy place. Recently, researchers found 2 babies buried over 11,000 years ago during a period known as the Ice Age. The infant graves were discovered in the Upward Sun River site in central Alaska, a place inhabited by the Denali people during the last years of the Pleistocene epoch, also known as the Last Ice Age. The remains of 2 infants were found in a pit beneath a hearth, right where the cremated remains of a 3-year-old had previously been discovered. It suggested that the first infant passed away shortly after birth, and the other was a late-term fetus, possibly even twins. They were carefully positioned, wrapped and covered in red ochre, suggesting that even our ancestors back then valued the death of a loved one. Number 7. Enormous skull. In 2014, a colossal and uniquely shaped polar bear skull emerged from an eroding archaeological site in Alaska, and it's unlike most modern polar bear skulls we've ever seen. The Inuvialuit, residing in Canada's Western Arctic, have been hunting polar bears
No wonder them jokers' head's so strong. You seen that skull? I thought that would be more like a cow or moose or something like that skull, but a bear?
For generations. They passed down their knowledge and skills from generation to generation, making polar bear hunting an integral part of their tradition. These hunters have encountered hundreds of bears, and among their tales, you'll hear about Tirionuk, or the weasel bear. It's a polar bear like no other, known for its enormous size, slender frame, and lightning-fast agility. While it looks different from your typical polar bear skull, scientists are still trying to pinpoint precisely what sets it apart. Genetic testing is ongoing, so we'll hear about this massive bear soon. Number 6. Bone pendants. Deep within the interior of Alaska, between Fairbanks and Delta Junction, at the Meade Archaeological Dig Site, carved bone pendants were discovered. These tiny yet mesmerizing bone pendants were first uncovered by a student in what's believed to be the remnants of a hide-covered hut dating back a staggering 12,300 years. The find occurred in 2013, but researchers kept it under wraps to ensure they hadn't missed any other crucial artifacts. Alongside these pendants, the team also unearthed stone tools and animal bones from the era, some dating between 11,820 and 12,200 years ago. Interestingly, they even stumbled upon a brown bear jawbone with its sharp canine teeth removed. possibly intended as potent talismans or jewelry pieces. Carved from bone, 2 resemble zipper pulls, while the other 2 take on the form of stylized fish or bird tails. Delicate cross-hatching patterns adorn their outer edges, leaving researchers pondering their purpose. Were they toggles, buttons, earrings, pendants, or perhaps ornaments? Number 5. Alaska Triangle. Similar to the Bermuda Triangle, the Alaska Triangle is a region where mysterious disappearances occur. The Alaskan Triangle, spanning from Utqiagvik to Anchorage and Juneau, has been the scene of over 16,000 unexplained disappearances. To put it into perspective, roughly 4 out of every 1,000 individuals have gone missing here. Search and rescue missions numbering in the hundreds are launched every year, desperately seeking missing residents, hikers, tourists, and even airplane passengers, often with no success. In 1972, Congressman Hale Boggs' private plane vanished within these boundaries, making a chilling start to the area's infamous reputation. But this was only the initial chapter in a series of vanishing incidents within the region. To this day, the mystery surrounding these events endures. Number 4. The Tragedy of Octavius. In 1775, along the Greenland coast, a vessel known as the Octavius was discovered, and it sent shivers down the spines of those who stumbled upon it. Why? Because this ship held no living souls aboard. Instead, the remains of all 28 crew members were found frozen solid below deck, as if death had claimed them in an instant. This ship disappeared in 1762, and it wasn't until 13 years later that it was found by another ship, the Herald. Just imagine their horror when they found the people on board. The captain sat at his desk with a pen in hand as though he had been writing a note. Beside him, his wife and child were nestled under blankets, resembling a family peacefully napping. Nearby, a soldier clutched a tinderbox as if he had been trying to provide warmth before succumbing to the cold. Historical and medical experts are still baffled by this story.
I always say the cold is the worst way to kind of go. That and like drowning or something like that, because like knowing it's air right there but you can't get to it, you know what I mean? Or it's just freezing and unbearable weather temperatures. Nah, no. Peacefully, I'd rather go that way. Peacefully. No other way.
Hypothermia and exposure to freezing temperatures can explain the crew's demise.
Hypothermia.
The bizarre positions in which they were found remain inexplicable. Moreover, details about Octavius are scarce. A hoax or a real maritime disaster? To this day, we're unsure. Number 3.
You ever seen somebody's fingers or anything that dealt with like frostbite and stuff like that, bro? Sick.
700-year-old melting village in Alaska. A team of archaeologists from the University of Aberdeen have been racing against time to rescue the secrets of a 700-year-old village site that lay hidden beneath ice for centuries. But now, due to the melting of permafrost, this ancient treasure trove is exposed to the elements, and this could jeopardize the preservation of this village. Number 2. The Vanishing Village of Alaska. This small, tight-knit community of about 400 indigenous Inuit people faces an imminent threat that could render their home uninhabitable within the next few years. This community clings to a narrow strip of land on the edge of the Bering Sea, far removed from the maps of Alaska and the United States. Its residents depend on hunting and fishing for their livelihoods, traditions passed down through generations. However, the rapidly retreating Arctic ice has left Kivalina vulnerable to coastal erosion, with autumn and winter storms wreaking havoc on its fragile shoreline. While a defensive wall was erected in 2008 as a temporary solution, experts predict that Kivalina will be uninhabitable by 2025. The warming Arctic region of Alaska faces unique challenges, with temperature records indicating a rate of warming twice that of the rest of the United States. Rising sea levels, retreating ice, and coastal erosion threaten Kivalina and at least 3 other Inuit settlements, with 8 more in serious jeopardy. For now, relocation is their only hope. And now, it's time for today's topic. Scientists revealed that Alaska is not what we're being told. Alaska is known for its breathtaking icy landscape. However, there is more to this region than we initially thought, or at least, that's what scientists believe. There were allegedly theories and hints at the existence of a hidden, uncharted territory nestled within the Alaskan wilderness, a land untouched by modern civilization. Could there be a secret landmass, a hidden paradise, or even remnants of an ancient civilization lurking beneath the icy veneer of Alaska? This land is known as one of the final frontiers. It wouldn't be too surprising if there's a land in this icy region harboring many secrets, just as experts theorize. Number 1.
I'm not an expert, but I'm one of those people who think that. I seriously do.
The Alaskan Bushmen.
Bushmen.
The Alaskan Bushmen are alleged cryptids that reside in the Alaskan region. For centuries, indigenous cultures in Alaska have whispered tales of these elusive beings. Known by various names, including tornits and turnits, these Alaskan Bushmen are rumored to be creatures of the wild, dwelling far from the reaches of civilization. In Inuit mythology, these cryptids are believed to be reminiscent of the Sasquatch or Bigfoot, referred to as Salmon Kar or Salmon Kar. Hunters, hikers, and adventurers have reported fleeting glimpses of massive ape-like figures that seem to vanish into the wilderness. These cryptids, as described, possess incredible strength and agility, navigating the rugged terrain effortlessly. However, many of these claims are almost always dismissed as pure speculation. So are any of you familiar with anything we showed in the video? I want to hear more of it.
Bushmen, Sasquatches, man, they living out there in them caves. I'm telling you, man. I just ain't gonna go in there and find out, though. You know, send a drone in there. A drone will find out for us. But listen, man, y'all get at me. Like I said in the beginning, man, Alaska melting down and uncovering all these things and different discoveries and stuff. It's all well and good, but we got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, man. This stuff is melting, which means the poles could be shifting. That's not good. It's not good for us. We got to figure something out fast. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think, though. Till next one, I'm gone.